Hello, everyone. Welcome to the final roundtable of our 6-day OISA Online Congress program. Today, we are having this session as a reflecting on 2020 and moving forward to the future. So think of it as more or less as an open mic. You are encouraged to speak up your observation about what's the challenges, what's your thought on how we were doing, what's the suggestion or directions that you think we should be heading. Before I open the floor, I would like to invite our immediate past president, Bert Dieterman, to give us a few words about his observation about OISA from the perspective of the past leadership for the past 4 years. You have the floor, Bert. Oh, you're outside. Hello.
Thank you. Yes. I'm currently on my way to go outside. Hello, everybody. From my cell phone this time, I will be staying in the next upcoming meetings, but I will be on my cellular phone, so it will be a bit shaky perhaps, but never mind that. Welcome, everybody. So good to see you all again. At almost the very end of these 6 days, which was very interesting, intriguing, sometimes long and slow, and sometimes very quick and uplifting. I really enjoyed it very much. Looking back on the period that's behind us, that's quite a question to answer in just a few lines. I would say that the last 4 years have been mostly trying to get the organization stable. Not so much that it was unstable before, that wasn't the case, but before that, a lot of things were set into progress. A lot of things were being tested, being tried out, and we have used the last 4 years to get it all settled in, get finances truly good organized, to get headquarters working and empowered, to get all the commission chairs in their right place and to have them really working on their commissions and on activities, to change from commission organized activities more to project based activities. So we have, over the last 4 years, we've been trying to steady the organization and actually to get it all smoothed out a little bit. It sounds a bit boring, but the better the organization, the engine of the organization is working, the better it is for the organization itself. As one of my predecessors always used to say, the executive committee is only the boring part of the organization. It's strictly business, and everything the organization can be proud about is done by others. It's done by the chairs, and via the chairs by, of course, you, all the members, all the people working, contributing to OISA, being enthusiastic, always enthusiastic, finding new friends, and never let them setbacks like COVID, let them get down, always go on and further. I'm really proud of that. So last 4 years, steadying the organization, making it a perfect start, I would say, for the new leadership. Yesterday was the first EC meeting where I was as a non-voting as ex officio, which I can do for the coming 2 years. I was really encouraged by the enthusiasm of Abby and the other guys, and already looking forward and making plans, and it's a new energy that our organization really can do with. So that's, for now, that will be my first words, I would say.
Thank you, Bert. Thank you. And next, I would like to invite Duncan to give us a few words.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Old faces and the new faces. Well, I think it's a very challenging, the next round, for all the new EC members. Yeah, especially in this time we have to have the meeting, and you have to have meeting. I'm sorry. By the internet now instead of the face-to-face. That's very challenging, and yeah. So I think you need to create immediately your how to work together. But I think our headquarters and also the new president, every experience, at least for the last round of the VP, we have together. And working with headquarters, I think we have pretty good experience for the past 2 years working this way. Well, I wish all the best. I think Beard will be still around for a while, probably longer than in need. I hope.
But then Zhang Kenyu has been with OSA for many years. So did you observe any significant changes over the year?
Oh, you mean in the past 12 years?
Yeah. First as a representative of OSA Center and then step into OSA leadership. Most of the time, you're actually the only Asian representative in the
Yes.
leadership. So
Yes.
did you, what's the observation on that?
I have to say I did a good job because the member of the Asian Center has not increased, although I've been trying to talk to Singapore, Malaysia, but still I think still only Hong Kong and Taiwan are the official center, and Singapore and Malaysia only the individual member. Yeah, and Japan and the Korean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, kind of the lacking of their activity. So I that should be improved. I did a good job again. So Sammy, that's your job.
Somehow I knew that coming. I can see that coming, like Sammy.
Yeah. And,
put it on the shoulder of Sammy.
in terms of the every 4 years round, okay, I have the first 8 years by Louis. Is Louis around?
No, it's today.
And Beatrice did the last 4 years. Every president should have their different way to run the business. Okay, so I be sure run. But I have to say that Beat did very good job. I shouldn't say to reorganize the HQ, but to make HQ works
Smoothly.
very smooth.
Yeah, smoothly and empowered.
Yes. Yeah.
And more efficient as well. Yeah.
We all kind of the volunteer
Yes.
job. So time is limited to everyone, and then contribution become very important. Okay. But now we are online, so we can do every day and night for our business. Yeah. For me, I'm still at the analog brain. This digital era is, it is a good time for me to step down from this. Yeah, because I totally not fit. Yeah.
But don't you find digital meetings makes your life easier because you don't have to fly
In fact,
around
yes.
the world, right?
Yeah, because our 3 days meeting in the past now is 3 hours.
Yeah, everything's condensed.
3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. So of course we are, we don't have that much activity, I have to say, because of the pandemic and situation. Every country different, so it's really hopefully this will go away soon, and then we're back to the
back
original life. But
original
life never back to the same,
Yeah, I
because
think this is our new normal now.
yeah. So we have to live with this. So
Yes. Thank
good
you.
luck. Anything you want to ask me or anything, you can blame me, no problem.
And Duncan is very good at point to good restaurants, good food in every corner of this earth. So he's really good at that. That's something to add on. It's really good.
Call
at
me
it.
anytime, but we are on the internet, so
Yeah, right.
no need anymore.
No,
I
I totally agree with Wanru. You know it. You are really an expert there.
Really, really.
Amazing hostess. Yeah, look forward to see you, Duncan. First opportunity to come to Taiwan.
Thank you. Thank you, Duncan. Next, I would like to invite Hassan. Hassan being the bridge, should I say that? The bridge from EC to the new elected EC. So what's your vision? What's your observation about OSTA? Either coming from a leadership perspective, or coming from a Egyptian center perspective, or coming from a designer perspective?
All what I hope now, it's like you said, this bridge, it's a good expression, between Arab or Arab countries and all other colleagues around the world. Also, I will try to do my best with Africa. Actually, the Africa Gate, I do it through ITI, because also I'm a member in ITI. So African theater people are more active with International Theater Institute. So I hope to do this. I hope when you have many chances to come to have many meetings in Arab area, at least in Egypt, in Morocco, in Sharjah, Emirate يعني. So it's a good chance to open up many possibilities for the future. Maybe next world stage design, we can see new faces, new designs from different zones around the world. So this is what I hope.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you. I think it really make a huge difference by bringing or linking to the Arabic speaking world to OSTA. That is what we need for many, many years, and you made it happen. Thank you. Next, I would like to invite our newly elected president, Abby, to give us a few words.
Thank you, Wahom. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We know it has been a long journey, but it's very, very good to see you all and to see new faces in all of these meetings we've been having in the past 5 days. Thank you very much, Bert and Hassan and Duncan, for your words. It's very inspiring to think what challenges you had and the good things, the good sets and the challenges you had in the past 4 years. As for us, it's important to think about, reflect, and discuss where we're going. And welcome again on board all these members. Our first meeting yesterday was very enjoyable. I think we have this vibrant and energy to lots of things in mind to bring new provocations for us all and for our staff members as well, and also taking the challenges and requests and the provocations from our members. I will go a bit backwards behind 4 years ago, but a bit maybe trying to explain a little bit the sense of OISTAT for me and how do I see this moment and what do I see for the near future. I think I spoke a lot on my speech as a candidate, but everything I said there, I really, really believe the way we need to work together, we need to listen to each other, we need to listen more directly to the members, the Oistad centers, the associate members, have more and more conversations, and we have this opportunity, even by the pandemic, to straighten out communication. And as Duncan mentioned, meetings we would have for 3 days. Now it takes us 3 hours, and with the benefit that we don't have a massive jet lag. Because I remember first time I went to Taiwan for our EC meeting, I was completely upside down. I started getting to sleep for 6 in the morning. And by the time I needed to wake up for our first meeting, 9 o'clock, to go through finances, I was almost sleeping on the table, trying to eat all sweets available there, trying to keep awake. So it's not that glorious, it's not that glamorous that people might think it is. It's quite hard work and demands a lot of hours. And all of us, we work in this voluntary basis. So it is amazing to see how much we all give to the association. And of course, we expect to have our space, to have a voice, to have some things in return. Even if it's a project, it's meeting people, is exchanging some ideas, some thoughts, learning, there's all of that. I've been in Neustadt for 18 years, so I can say I'm achieving the majority here. And now I can drink and drive, not same time, but I think is quite a symbolic moment, and it was amazing because I joined it as a member 2003, but I think Oistad crossed my pathway in a very nice way, answering to my restlessness, answer to things I was looking for. I was in Prague 1995. And I was really amazed by the exhibition, the amount of the beautiful models. That was so stunning to see the world production in one place as a big, quadriennale of scenography. But I missed the meeting point. I missed the speaking with people because I didn't know anyone. There was no any side program. And so I was really missing the meeting people and speaking with, who is this one? Who is that artist? Who is the designer who created that model? I would like to talk with them, I would like to have a chance to exchange some ideas. And then 4 years later, 1999, during the Oistad, during PQ, Oistad launched a small side program. It was something very simple. And in Brazil, we had José Dias, who's a scenographer from Rio de Janeiro, Márcio Tadeu, and many others. But we had this opportunity to meet with some scenographers, with designers in the small groups, have a tour with them, look through their critical overview on the exhibitions, talk about their own projects. So I think I started finding, this echo to my needs, to what I was looking for. And I can see so much that Oistad has developed and revolved since then. Because I remember the work of the commissions were, of course, it was much harder to meet and get people engaged in activities, but I can see so many projects grown up since they are developed, and we are engaged with so many more people. 2003 was the year that Eric Fielding was launching World State Design, and was really amazing because the way he was doing was just in the way that was didn't want to create any inconvenience or any trouble with the PQ. So it became a very, very interesting project that will be crossing and filling a gap, an existing gap. There will be individuals having a voice to present their work. So thinking about reflecting on the past to move forward to the future. I must say that I think another day there was the session of the indigenous way of learning, and I just remember, I think that I use a lot in my lectures in my life, is that there is a tribe in the Andes in the South America where they have a different sense of what the past and what the future is. How do we think past and future? And the tribe calls Aymara, and I think they propose that the present, the future, sorry, the past is something that's in front of us, something I can see, I can understand, I see that clearly. So I know the past, and the future is something that chases us, is now in back of us, we can't see. But it's so amazing because it's something we can imagine, we can shape, we can create. It's not something we know. So that gives us the opportunity to redefine how the future is going to be. And I think we live in a moment where we are forced to do that. And it's an amazing moment. I think every time we see transformation in arts and culture, theatre, it's about some changing point where we are forced, we're invited to look through another perspective. So I think this is a moment when we need to disentangle so many strands we have. So we need to free from our way of doing, of thinking, we communicate, we work, and rethink all of that. Like start it from scratch, you know, taking the experience we have, taking all the reference we have, but we're still redefining, we have this opportunity to redefine, to create a new future. And that's what I'm really looking forward to do with all of you.
Thank you, Abby. I remember I was in Sao Paulo in 2014. From Taipei to Sao Paulo, that was 24 hours flight. And then next is Abby coming to Taipei, 24 hours from Brazil to Taipei. And then ever since that, when we look at each other, we have this mutual understanding of how it feels to be on the plane for 24 hours and then get to the hotel and sleep, and then sleep for a night, and then wake up tomorrow for 8 hours meeting for 3 days non-stop. Thank you. Next, I would like to invite Sophia. Sophia, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Nice to be here. I'm one of the new members of the EC, and I'm glad and also grateful to the support of the colleagues. I was encouraged by colleagues to run for the EC, and I'm very interested in contributing to our community. This is all volunteer work, and I think it comes as mutual understanding, respect, and love for Oistat. I have gained a lot from Oistat. I can also say I found out about Oistat in the 90s from visiting PQ, and it was clear that the two were two different things, and it took a while to become a member. It took a while because I was quite isolated. There was no Oistat center in my country, and also quite young. Certain activities of Oistat were too expensive for me to travel, and I have an understanding of those aspects. And I think that kind of experience makes me consider how we can engage more people from different places, from different ages in the sense of career ages, and also from different backgrounds, different languages, different cultures, and different financial possibilities. So it's one of the interests I have, this kind of expansion of Oistat. Of course, it is part of Oistat strategy also, but I also think what makes Oistat very special is that sense of community and inclusion. So I'm very happy and interested to develop different aspects of our activities towards that direction of being really inclusive and expand and embracing different professionals and also younger generations. So there are different ways to do that. We have projects which have been ongoing, and I got a sense from the first EC meeting yesterday that we are all interested in continuing those and developing new ones in new areas. I think these are the main points for now. Yeah, I'm very happy there are so many women in the new EC. it's the second time that we have a female president and also quite many members. Of course, on the other hand, I wouldn't like us to consider this such an exception that it's important to say it. So I think it should be just, you know, a mix of men, women all the time. However, for a while we have had less colleagues, female colleagues, in previous years. In the previous EC, there was only Marina. So I think now it's nice that we have a different balance for the next 4 years and in a natural way continue to have a mixed balance. Yeah, I think that's it. And I feel quite full of energy. So to do things.
Thank you.
And I hope, as a final thing, I hope to combine this. I think I said this also in my kind of introductory talk, that I feel I have elements of a Southern and Mediterranean culture, which is who I am as a person, combined with this experience of working in the Nordic area, which is a bit, how can I say, quite clear and direct work ethos and planning, and all the other understanding of you know, other cultures to the maximum possible. So I'm very happy to be part of the new EC and to continue working with everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. I am totally with you as a nation woman. I am happy that we have a really balanced leadership in terms of geographic region and in terms of gender. But however, on the other side, I am also a little bit hesitated about like emphasizing that too much. So I see your point. I see as an outcome of our effort to bringing diversity and equality to the organization for the past 10 years. And then from there, we can really look into new possibilities in terms of geographic balance and gender balance. There are a lot of work to be done. Next, I would like to invite Semi.
Oh, hi. Oh, it's been a great honor to be one of the EC member in Oyster. And I think I know Oyster probably about the same time as Abby. Okay, so, but in a vaguely way I think for the first 5 or 6 years. And then I think for the most important change of the Oyster today is that I think Warong did a wonderful job. Well, yeah, after they moved to new address and they were making Oyster, it was an organization, but with you know, kind of free and loose connection things to each other or to members. But I think they organized with Bert and Warong and all the ladies in the office, and they are really trying to hold the members or the what we call EC members or even GB or individual members. They are trying to connect them very hard and sending out informations and or creating activities. Yeah, and I think that's the big change that I've seen of Oyster for the past maybe 5 to 7 years. And I'd really like to say thank you, Warong, and you're wonderful.
Thank you.
And yes, as Duncan just mentioned, the Asian members are really, I don't know how to get contact with them. And sometimes they're, as I seen from the, or the people I know from Japan or Korea, they are kind of timid of using English or even watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
True.
sometimes that's the reason why I tell April that the most difficult things to contact in the WSD is contacting those designers. Sometimes they open up the email and then close it. They tend not to answer, not to reply, and that's the reason. And that's also the reason why I agree with Yan yesterday for popping up the individuals, because the younger generation in Asia, such as Korea, Japan, or even China, they tend to use English more easily than the elder people as we do. So maybe we can, by reaching out those young individual members and then making some basic change of their center, and then become a more active members. That's one thing I think maybe we can work with under the leadership of Abby and all the colleagues we are grouping now. Thank you.
Thank you. I actually took 2 years Japanese back in
Oh,
college,
really?
and now it's like pretty much broken Japanese. So what I do is I communicate with our members in written, in Hanzi, in Kanji, right? And a lot of body language as well. So it's a new way of communication. And then Dora, she is at work. She cannot use her microphone. I just, she leave me a chat. I will speak for her. Laura said, 1 second. Laura said, for me, it's very important to talk to the OSA centers to see what problems they face after COVID and what OSA or OSA members can do for them. Also, my focus is to involve countries that are new for OSA to increase our network, especially at continents that have less OSA centers at the moment. Another big future topic will be sustainability, as I already said during my presentation on Saturday. Thank you, Laura.
See, I have an oyster cup.
Oh, nice.
I think Mia is here as well, isn't it?
Mia, she cannot use her microphone. She's in the middle in the class. So I
okay.
told her if she want to say something, she could message me.
I can say two few sentences.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm not fully here. I'm,
Go ahead.
I'm divided by two, but I just wanted to say thank you to everybody, and I'm really glad that I could be a part of this community. And for me, as I said to Will a few days ago, I think the main challenge is actually that Oistat is like some kind of very close family or sector, and to expand boundaries, because for somebody who is outsider is very hard to get in. And I think that will be maybe the challenge to try to do that. And Abby said that this is one of the goals, to go directly to members and to try to go also through centers and directly to members. And I'm really happy that I'm becoming not really outsider anymore, but I'm going inside. I'm getting inside. I will stay here, but I'll have to go back to exam. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Welcome. Can I say one thing,
Sure.
please? Because I forgot saying in the beginning. Yesterday in our first SC meeting, we nominated some key positions in the EC that would like to share our community, because I think that's important. I forgot to mention that in the beginning, so sorry very much. So we nominated 2 vice presidents. First vice president is Hazem Shebo from Egypt. Second vice president is Sami Wang from Taiwan. Our treasurer will carry on the duties will be Jan Romick. He agreed on carry on his duties. And the secretary will be April Vitsko. Other positions will be in the meantime, if you need other positions or liaisons that we're going to be deciding in the next meetings. And usually EC would meet in person twice a year, and one of the meetings will be with the GB. But because we have this facility of the online communication, digital communication, I proposed, and I was very pleased to see how all members agreed in the EC for us to having monthly meetings, so we could speed up some actions and thoughts and some exchanging. But of course, all this work is made with the collaboration with the entire community. So we will be listening to you all. That will be important to listen to you all. The executive committee is a body to facilitate, to support, and the entire organization is not based in projects, but we can call actions, because there are lots of actions to be made. And I must say them through the Commission's activities and the projects as such as World State Design, I think is the best way we found, and we can recognize that we grow this community and we keep growing, we keep putting that in the spot. And we have a very good feedback from doing more and more projects like that. And I will make an appeal for you all, because since I started working there, when I started in the EC in 2013, for the mandate of 4 years, I remember one of the first meetings I had, and in the papers we had this kind of calendar based on the North Hemisphere sense of what is a summer, what is a fall. And I remember I just step in the way I am, but sometimes a bit, straightforward in my words. And I will ask kindly to all of you to consider not using summer or fall, because that doesn't address the globality, the global numbers.
Yes.
Okay, so let's use March, April, whatever periods of time is a suggestion. I can't impose that, because I know in your organizations, in your start centers, it might make sense. But when we are within the OISTAT, it will be very good to remember not everybody will understand when summer fall is somewhere else. And yes, and of course the regions, I think the regions, the diversity that Sophia mentioned is very important. Diversity of people, regions, culture, languages is not represented only in the EC, but the entire OISTAT. It's beautiful to see how this representation has been changed. And I learned a lot from OISTAT, from all my time I've been engaged in OISTAT, in all the projects, in the first 2007, 2011, World State Design 2013, all the collaboration I did through OISTAT, through the projects with OISTAT. I learned a lot, and I always try to bring that experience to my peers in my own country, in Brazil, because in 2001 we started developing a center that was a Cenografia Brazil. It was an association, was very informal association, but it was a group of people who wished to get more connected. And I think that we can do in our countries, we can do finding our peers in our own countries and trying to bring them to the understanding what OISTAT is, or what is working in collaboration, working together. And today's results that we see for the second time, an OISTAT Center in Brazil being created. And I really hope that could be maintained, because it's not easy to maintain a center, it's not easy to maintain an association like that. And it works better when we are very kind to each other and respectful and work in collaboration, and but be frankly as well with our thoughts, and we have a space to talk as well, to say what we think is good, what we think is not, and yeah, being professional as well, but being a family at the same time.
Yes, that's in what Joe said. OISTAT meetings and activities are intellectual and fun. I just love that quote. I think that captured the OISTAT spirits. I remember I remember that moment really pretty well when you say, can we please not using autumn or spring, because this is like Northern Hemisphere. And then that hit me really, because and then ever since you said that, we changed that in our website and newsletter. Totally, we stopped using that. So every time we use like March, April, May, like very clear in terms of the phrase, in terms of time. Right. Next, I would like to invite Ivo. Ivo, welcome. Hi, can you share with us your thoughts and observations about OISTAT? You need to unmute yourself. Or you...
Yeah.
Yes.
That was but thoughts and observations, Jesus.
Yeah, well, it could either coming from a commission chair or an EC or a member of OISTA center. So it could come from different perspectives.
Well, all of them. I just had my silver jubileum. I discovered my first OISTAT meeting was in 91. No, 86. Well, anyway. And that was a discovery at the time. And I just kept on going. And it needs some time to let it grow on you. And you discover that with many people. When you bring in new people, they quickly discover the OISTAT spirit, and the people always say, what's my benefit? Eh? I would say, what's the benefit they get out of it? But it's not that simple to explain it's not a material benefit, it is spiritual benefit for sure. That you meet people from of your same background, basically, but from professional background and from interests, but from all different cultures. And that's absolutely the nice thing of it, because it's when you see, I've been dabbling in history quite a bit over the last few years, and you see that in the 50s, people stayed inside the walls of their theater. Technicians, designers, actors, they would never go out, hardly see another play even. And now we have this incredible chance to meet other people, see how they do it, and compare and say some things. Oh my God, I'm so glad I'm doing this better. And many other things from, well, this is, oh my God, I'm really doing this much worse than they do. And so you learn from it and you influence each other. And well, that's just the general feeling.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Ivo. Ivo is the very first OISTA person I spoke to back in 2011 when I first joined OISTA. Feels like yesterday.
I don't remember that. But...
Yeah, but I do.
Where was that?
Yeah, I was in Taipei, 2011. You were in Taipei for the EC and GB meeting. So I remember,
right.
Yeah, you are the very first OISTA person I talked to. All right, next I will open the floor and then just throw out some questions for all of you. My first question will be what's your observation about this Congress? This is our very first online Congress. So I would love to hear your thoughts on that. My second question is like a little bit bigger, just a little bigger. It's about the communication. And we are an organization of organization. That means it's in a structure that we have different layers of communications. And we are aware of that. And then why we are trying to improve the communication. So I would love to hear from our members, what's your thought and feedback on that? How can we do better in terms of communicate with you? Because I saw our center members, I saw individual members, I saw chairs in the group. So if you would like to share your thoughts with us, welcome. Just raise your hand digitally and I will open your mic, of course. So anyone? Yes. Yes.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey. So I'm still new. Like this is my first year attending, and like not quite participating, and I feel like I still don't quite understand everything. I'm still learning, and so I don't know if I would have a suggestion for that yet, but I would say that as like the first time, maybe if we like have something for new members or for newcomers to just inform them about the platform, what usually happens, so that, like, of course I learned a lot these past few days, but I mean, it was like putting fragments together, asking some questions. So maybe if it was something that is more inclusive at the beginning, so that the new members can actually start participating earlier than they would normally do.
Thank you so much. That's a very good.
We could call that, yeah, it's a very good one. We could like an induction for new participants.
Induction, yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Very well spot. Thank you very much. That's very good.
I saw Kate. Go ahead.
Hi. Thank you very much, Wonrung, for putting together such a brilliant few days. It's been absolutely exhausting, and my eyes need a rest. I've attended as much as I can, and I realize I'm very privileged because I'm in the middle of Europe, and therefore everything's in the middle of the day. So I'm not complaining about anything because it's wonderful. I think the thing, and just in response to the last one, was really the only thing that, and I'm sorry, I'm sort of saying it, the thing that is wrong is a way, it's just all the commission sessions together. And I know it was a nightmare, but I think what has sort of happened over the last few years is that people haven't stuck in their silos, as it were, of commissions. They've been doing a lot more attending sort of 2, 3 even different commissions. And that sort of exchange and interchange, as it were, has been really useful, really helpful. And I think it was so it was a bit of a shame to find that we were kind of pitched against other commissions, as it were, and then we need to go back and listen to their sessions as recordings. And I know the planning was absolutely horrendous, and I know we were all greedy, wanting, more sessions. So yes. I understand all that, and I suppose it's, in a way, it's a bigger point about which Abby has mentioned, and Sophia's certainly mentioned, about more joint meetings, more joint online meetings as well, and more sessions, so that kind of collaboration can be seen for people coming into the organisation who are new as well, because I think that the individual commissions, sort of silos, are quite confusing for people coming in as well. When I came in through education, and so I went to Evsimen's trips in wonderful visit she organised in Istanbul. Thank you, Evsimen. And but then I happened along to the meeting in Tel Aviv, and found myself in the history and theory group with Arnold Aronson, about to dissolve the group, about to dissolve the commission for lack of interest. And so 3 people in that meeting, me being one of them, put our hands up and went, "You can't do that." From nowhere, from no experience whatsoever, and suddenly found ourselves caretakers of the commission, and the rest is history, as they say. So it's so I think that understanding that the commissions are a way of working, rather than being, oh well, you're only costume, or you're only you're an educator, so you only go to education or something. I think that's making that.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Sure, Abby, go ahead.
Yeah, just because I think Kate raised a very, very important issue, but it's that the Congress is a difficult one, because we are supposed to have small meetings And I think since we have the facility that's quite a new one, right? Come on, let's remember that we just started doing Zoom a year and a half ago. It didn't exist that before. Okay, we'll be Skype group, will be crashing, will be not this easy to handle. So the commissions, they have the rights to have one annual meeting. But because of this facilitating of communication, maybe you could have other meetings or small events and invite other people to have a more, focused events in one commission, other commission, or combining events. And I would suggest, because the session I was watching before this was from the research, and I want to congratulate you, Kate, because it was an amazing session. And I think if you recorded that could be, sent to or to be available to all members, because that topic of sustainability in our practice in the space and discussion that happen is relevant across all the commissions, across all our practice and our studies and our teaching and everything. So maybe sometimes if you can have a big theme, a big topic, then we can go across the commissions. That could be very useful to have this, combining projects. And it is very exhausting as well, but very rich. Sunday, particularly, myself and Kate, we were since 9 o'clock in the morning until 7 in the night, 8, something like that, on a Zoom, because we were attending also the Ukrainian Biennale, Lviv. But it's very good to keep, making those bridges. And yeah, but I think in the Congress is always an issue in a big event like World State Design as well. But it's up to the commissions to, maybe thinking how much program they can combine. And yeah, and they see what we do is having someone that we liaise with the GB, trying to make that communication within the commissions, and the meetings, of course, will be for that. Thank you, Kate.
Thank you. Thank you. One thing I said too, one thing we've learned is the importance of control the size of an online Congress. Since Open Meeting Room have an online meeting, seems to be like painless and costless. So what happened is the sections originally were like 90 minutes, and then it grows to 120 minutes, and then 180 minutes. That need to be separated as 2 sections, and then there's the third session come. So eventually, originally we want to avoid that overlapping commission sections, but we end up doing so next time. I learned my lesson next time. Join sessions and cross commission sections. That's a very good solution to that. Next, we have Jennifer. Go ahead.
Hi, I wanted to share an observation about the online Congress, about accessibility. Someone in the chat said that this was their first time and they don't speak English very well, but they're learning a lot. And I wanted to point out that the live transcript is actually great for me because I'm a native English speaker, but I'm also hard of hearing. So I miss a lot of what other people say, even when they're speaking English and speaking quickly, even when someone is trying to speak English and I miss a word, it can be very important. And so for me, being able to hear and read is really advantageous. So I feel like it is more inclusive of different people around the world, different abilities, different languages. The live translation is not perfect. The live transcript is not perfect, but it's amazing to be able to hear those words. And this morning in the panel about sustainability, listening to, I think it was Patty Dillon talk, I had the same things I did at PQ and when I was in person with other people, which is actually hearing other people talk about theater and my perspective and understanding starting to shift, where I was so engaged with the things that they were saying, not just about even the topic that they were talking about, but the passion that they used and the way that he talked about collaboration made me think and challenge my understanding of that in a way that was fundamental and very moving. And that's what I enjoy about OISTAT. So I was able to get those things from the digital Congress, just the same way that I got those things in person. Of course, I would have gotten other things as well, but I think that this is such a valuable way for us to communicate moving forward in a way that can connect to places we can't necessarily reach as easily. And I look forward to that. As Abby said, that it a few years ago, this wasn't possible. And now that it is, and people have started to get used to it, that it is possible for us to reach those people and have them participate. And I think it's very exciting.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you. And John, please go ahead. John, you have the floor.
Thank you, Anjum. And I'd like to add my thanks for the organization of the conference, which has been remarkably smooth considering the enormous problems there must have been.
Can I ask the participant to turn off your microphone if you are not speaking, so we can avoid the huge echo? Thank you. John, go ahead. Sorry about that.
Right. Just a tiny bit of context. When I joined OISTAT, the Berlin Wall was still standing. So it's over 40 years. I'm not suggesting that that has anything to do with anything other than that I have quite a long perspective, rather like Ivo. But the important thing that I have learned from this Congress, the two outstanding moments really, was Dinesh talking about his project about empathy, and Femi talking about Nigeria. And the real challenge I think that we face over the next years is to shift our very centered on our own concerns in our own theaters and look outwards. And it's a difficult thing. We need to find things that we can actually contribute rather than just being observers. But those two, I think, are very important. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, John. Just to let you know, those sessions, those bits grab my attention as well, and something that I share with your thoughts. That's really, really important. Thank you so much for your observation.
Thank you. And I saw it on the chat, Luciana, don't worry about language thing. English is my second language. And then I learned so much from my OSA colleague, like every day. I was like, okay, I didn't know you could use that word in English to describe that. I've done that. So that's the secret. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for all.
Thank you. And then next, I would like to hear thoughts from our centers. Monique, are you still there? Do you have good ideas for ice-breaking events in online activities? I'm relying on you on this one.
Hello. Yeah, I already have my 7-Eleven up. I was for the next session. So
yes.
Just so you know, this is the original one.
Oh, you have the original photo.
Yeah, look, I'm going to take that. And I have another one with the name of the hotel we were staying at, which was the Asia Pacific Hotel. And I found it in my photo. So I said, I got to take it and put it up. So sorry for my my surprise. Is there a little bit early? But hello, everyone. It was a pleasure to be with all of you during the week. I was lucky. It started around 8 o'clock morning time here in Montreal. I'm based in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, and so it was not too bad. And of course, I would be more than happy to share ideas and for doing an online conference. We have done 2 this year, well, 2 in the past 2 years, but not as extensive as this one. But we do have 5.5 time zone in Canada, so we are struggling with that. We're lucky we do everything in English for the moment. So that's we're lucky about that. My only little comment, and it's just an observation again, I would probably like to have a little bit more time between the sessions than just 10 minutes, just to be able to overlap if we need to sometimes, but also to take a little breather break. That's really my only observation, but I thought it was, I kind of miss not seeing everybody like we used to like the last time, those breaks that we have where we can chit chat and discover things. But at the same time, to be able to connect with everyone was almost like in this, and I'm sure there were more people and all that, but it's also a privilege to be able to be part of it. So thank you to everyone at the OISTAT headquarters. You are also a very good inspiration, you and your team, Wan Yang, to me. And I appreciate all the work that you do, and also to the AC and the commissions. It's wonderful. So voila.
Yeah, thank you. I still remember, was it like 2000, I don't know, 14-ish in Salt Lake City, you and April were coming to me at the OSA table, and you said, you know what? I think we should bring WSE back to Canada. And I was like, yeah, let's do that. Why not? And here we are. That was the wonderful moment I had in OSTA. Yeah. John, go ahead.
Yes, I had a third example which I failed to insert because it is important, taken with the other two, and that was Cyril's explanation of his theatre in Vietnam, built into the side of a mountain, as an example of a culture that we have very little connection with, but to see that and to see what the ideas were and what theatre was doing in that context, I think, again, is something that we should help us to shift our focus outwards. It was about as different from any theatre project that I've ever been involved in, other than Per Edstrom's amazing theatre which he built in India out of bamboo. But those examples of the way in which we can shift our focus are the ones I think that OISTAT should concentrate on. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you. Next, may I hear from our individual members? Tommy, can I give the floor to you?
Hi.
Hello, good to see you. Good to see you.
Yeah, I'm original from Hong Kong, but moved to Singapore 20 years ago. And as in Singapore, there are no the center, although Duncan worked very hard to talk to the Singapore government. But in the Southeast Asia, there's a lot of opportunity to be the connection, and they're building up a lot of center or theater, and they need all the support, no matter the experience from the technical area, management, etc., etc. We are in the region. It's very difficult to get more experience, production manager, technical manager, no matter the experience. I'm now teaching. I came back to my love. I graduated from College of Education, so I go back to teaching. What I do 10 years ago. So now with the Lhasa College of the Arts, but the student graduate, you cannot imagine they can doing so as production manager. We are doing the ASM, or you get a job is lucky, but they graduate 1 or 2 years, they become production manager and all that. They're good or bad and all, and also the in the local, the Esplanade Theatre is a local move up to the like Candy Wong. Candy Wong is used to be our Singapore Theatre Association, the chair. I'm one of the founder member also, but now they're very inactive. But he moved to the, now is a production manager of the Esplanade, one of the considered the national theater in Singapore. That means the young people moving quite fast and they take up the major role. You cannot think of all the head of department and all very young, all 30 something, 40 to go up that job. I think Taiwan, the new, I don't know who managed the new venue. They will be open soon. Some of those who manage all those things. So we're already talking about how in this digital age, how we can use the platform for all that different area to get our experience or to share with the people. I joined actually the PQ in 1995, and also I'm the founder member or founder president of the Hong Kong Oyster Center when I was in Hong Kong. I hope to see that there are more of the experience, or no matter the standard, because I also joined the APTT. Like, I used to be also the APTT member, USITT member as well.
So you are multiple OSA members. Good job. Good job.
So I think that can be, and also particularly there's a big market in mainland China. We just sharing the lighting sub commission. We holding some of the, we just getting the talk by our lighting lecturer from Taipei and Hong Kong, and also from mainland China, Shanghai Theatre Academy, Central School of Drama. We are already doing that, the lighting designer, and sharing my experience with our students. They quite in the, because now all of theater people, that is so easy to get the people in last year because we're all not so busy. So we can get a lot of professional designer talk to the student. And we attract around more than 200 people. And one day, the first day is the student present their work. The second day, the lecturer talk about the work and also talking about how teaching in the digital age, concentrate on lighting, because there's a group of our lighting lecturer. It's not by any organization. We love lighting. So we just do together. So nice. The OISCT is linking up and also really open the eye when we go to a PQ. I wish we have more for PQ, because the first time we will go to PQ, we really don't know how to get the connection. We're quite a close group because they're quite difficult in some sense because there's no center. I using the individual member, but some of center you need to go through. That means how we target each center, the younger people, each center, how to make them to have the experience. I still remember the first time I go to PQ in 1991, and then I in regular joining all the WSC. Every time I so enjoy meeting people. I hope there are more just talk about the different gender, different nation. We can be open up to seeing the different practice or practice approach to theater. And we have a lot to share throughout the OISTT. Yes.
Thank
We
you.
still go on.
Thank you. For the newcomers, I should give you a little bit explanation about PQ. PQ stands for Prague Quadrennial. It happens every 4 years in Prague as one of the biggest theater design event or performance design events. And then PQ was founded in 1967. OISTAT was founded in 1968. So from the very beginning, we are the two close organizations that we work together pretty closely. And for PQ, a lot of national submissions are coming from OISTAT Center. However, PQ is not an OISTAT event. WSD is an OISTAT event. People get confused a little bit because we are really close working together, but in fact, we are two separate institutes. Next, Rosanne,
Can I just, because what he said was very important for the new members, just made me remember one little thing. We have plenty recorder sessions for last year events regarding, and this year event as well, regarding dedication meetings, dedication weeks on 2020, 2021, and the SENA project. So I'm sure if you contact the headquarters, you could access to those links, so we could watch more of the recent online programs that are being recorded. Okay.
Yeah, the other thing to add is that we have a bi-monthly newsletter. As a member, you can share your articles through the OISTAT newsletter to the OISTAT network. Yeah, we are looking for content from you, all of you. Next, Rosanne, you read my mind. I was going to invite you.
No, thank you so much. Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about the language, because I think it's a very important topic, and it's amazing that Jennifer brought it here, because she's a native English speaker and she also had difficulty with that. So maybe I want to share our costume design subcommission experience, and we just finished our session, and we talked a lot there that we enjoy people to come even if they don't speak English. And we have a lot of members who speak a lot of language, and we can speak Spanish, French, and for example, Naima from Egypt wanted to share about the Egyptian event, and then other Egyptians translated her on the session. So this is very interesting to help each other and to be patient with the other ones speaking English. Because if we speak fast, the other ones feel like they are not invited to speak too. And another thing is that I think we can record and share for sure the sessions. And also one thing that I did here, we did like a new OISTAT Center, and we are very glad with that, is that we translated all the program of the Congress, and we put the program in Portuguese for people to see the sessions. And so for the first time, we had so many Brazilians here. And for example, in the costume session, we have 45 members and 8 of them was Brazilian. So we are very proud. And I think that if everybody do that in your country, we can call our students and even professionals to come nearby us. And only to finish, I want to say that I learned a lot with OISTAT. I'm with OISTAT since 2007 and since 2008 with Costume Group. And something that I want to, I don't have the word, but to call attention to it is that, yes, is that Laura Crown invited me for the first time, and with being a very pleasant host. And we do that in the costume group. We are always pleasant. We have a very horizontal way of deciding everything. And we learned a lot with that since the last 10 years, more closely since 2015, like a vice head. And we are doing that in Brazil now in the Oyster Center. So I think we will do this Oyster example and we'll succeed here on being horizontal, listening everybody. And thanks a lot. I love Oyster. I'm a passionate Oyster lover.
Thank you, Rosanny. Thank you. I apologize. I tend to speak faster and faster when I get excited or nervous, both in English and Mandarin. I just need to tell myself to slow down a little bit. So I'm learning that. Yeah, speaking of language, we do very much aware of that, speaking from the HQ point of view. That means we use common English. I don't know if that's the right English term. That means we avoid using long sentences, difficult vocabularies in terms of communications through website and through newsletter, because we are aware that not everybody is a native English speaker. So we keep that in mind whenever we are writing documents or papers or news for Oyster. And then,
can I just say that's why our secretary, April Witzko, because she's the only native English speaker in the entire EC.
Yes.
So
yeah, which is very important. So I've heard the story from the previous EC in, I don't know which era, but what I heard is they were pretty much half of the native speaker in the EC. And then at the end of the first meeting, somebody has to stand by and say, hey guys, you need to speak slower. Yeah, you need to slow down. I know we have a lot to talk to, but then like slow down. Yeah. All right, Rosanny, you want to add something? I see you raise your hand digitally. Do you want to add something? Oh, okay. All right. We are coming toward the end of the section. After the Congress, we will send a survey to your email. Please complete the survey so we will improve, we will do better for our next online Congress. And now I would like to open the floor to everybody who wants to add the final thought, either to the Oyster, to our project, to our membership, or any thought. Jennifer, go ahead.
I just want to say I was reminded that the Costume Commission said that they're always inviting people and are very friendly, and that was my experience. They recognized me. I talked with them the first night at PQ, and then several costume individuals recognized me and said hello to me on the floor just in passing. And it made me feel very seen and more able to engage when I was lost and was asking, where is this meeting? What is happening here? And part of the physical difficulty that can happen in a physical conference. And they were all so very helpful and so very friendly. And I'm not costumes, but that doesn't matter. And it felt really good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can I say two things?
Sure.
One is that hopefully in 2022, we'll be able to reunite face-to-face, and in the blending, always will be in the blending of hybrid meetings that will be in person and online for those who cannot attend. So if in your country, in your organization, you have the interest, you will be able to invite one of the commissions for hosting meetings, or the EC now is always open for your invitations, not only for 2022, but 23, 24, for the next years. And also I would say, bring your glasses and your cups, whatever we are, whatever time and what you are allowed to drink at this time, because next you're gonna have a farewell session, right?
Yes, right. I would like to add the final thought is that your experience of participating in OSTA is valuable in terms of design, technology, and theater architecture, but also in terms of your experience of organizing the event, of pushing the impact of NGOs. So that part is also very valuable, that's worth share within the OSTA community. Great, just. All right. So our next section is the farewell party, online party, 7-Eleven bar. And the next section, we will share the story why 7-Eleven bar. I wish to see you there. See you. Bye-bye.